Imagine a place lost to time, buried beneath desert sands. A structure not for kings or gods but for something far more profound, a library. This is no ordinary collection. The air hums with a strange energy, a whisper of knowledge both ancient and impossibly new. The walls are lined with texts that speak not of past glories but of us, of our future. Blueprints for technologies we haven't dreamed of, equations for physical laws yet to be discovered. On June 13, 2025, Professor Eris Thorne and his team stumbled upon this impossible library. They expected pottery shards and faded hieroglyphs. Instead, they found quantum computer schematics etched onto clay tablets, genetic engineering described on stone steles. It was a library out of time, a collection of human achievement that hadn't happened yet. The discovery was monumental but deeply unsettling. A message from tomorrow, delivered yesterday. Carbon dating confirmed the materials were ancient, yet the knowledge was from a future still out of reach. It was as if someone had traveled back in time and left a manual for civilization. But who, and why? There were no names, no authors, no clues. The library was a ghost, its knowledge a phantom. This paradox twisted the minds of all who learned of it. If the knowledge for our future inventions already existed in the past, where did it come from? It was like finding a copy of a book that had not yet been written. The discovery suggested that the linear progression of time might be an illusion. Perhaps the story of human ingenuity is not a straight line, but a circle, a loop with no clear beginning or end. And so, the greatest mystery of all, whose whisper from the future was this? Professor Thorne, a man of science, believed in the logical progression of history, until now. The library was an anomaly, a glitch in the timeline of human progress. The team meticulously documented every tablet, every inscription, searching for a rational explanation. Was it a hoax? Every test said no. The materials were genuinely ancient, the language extinct, the craftsmanship authentic. Only the content defied explanation. One tablet detailed general relativity, 2 millennia before Einstein. Another mapped the human genome with modern precision. The texts weren't just advanced, they were specific, offering solutions to problems not yet identified. Fusion energy formulas, cures for incurable diseases. The library wasn't predicting the future, it was writing it. This realization brought fear. If released, this knowledge could leapfrog humanity forward or destroy us. What would it do to the human spirit if all the answers were already provided? Would we lose the drive to search, to strive, to invent? Professor Thorne stood at a precipice, holding a key to the future forged in the distant past. He had no idea what door it was meant to unlock. The weight of the discovery pressed on him and his team. The world would never be the same. Imagine holding a piece of ancient clay, only to find it contains the source code for artificial intelligence. The team faced this jarring disconnect daily. Ancient artifacts describing neural networks, earthquake-proof buildings, and star charts mapping distant galaxies. The library was an encyclopedia of future human achievement, solutions to every problem from climate change to interstellar travel. Most unsettling was the absence of a creator. No names, no signatures, just pure information. Knowledge stripped of context, of struggle, of story. Professor Thorne wondered, what if this knowledge wasn't a gift, but a loop? Imagine a future where humanity, using this knowledge, builds wonders. Then a historian compiles it, travels back, and leaves it to be found. The discovery inspires the very inventions it contains. The information has no origin point, it exists in a closed loop, passed from future to past forever. The library's knowledge was not a gift, but a paradox. It was knowledge without a beginning, a story with no first page. The team realized they were part of a loop, not just observers but participants. The implications were staggering. Was this the ultimate fate of all human knowledge, or just the beginning of a new kind of story? The ink of tomorrow was written in the dust of yesterday, and the world was left to wonder. This scenario has a name, the Bootstrap Paradox. It describes a situation where information or objects exist in a causal loop, with no clear origin. Imagine a time traveler who gives Shakespeare a copy of Hamlet, which Shakespeare then copies and claims as his own. Who wrote Hamlet? The story seems to appear out of nowhere. The library is the ultimate example. Blueprints for a fusion reactor exist on ancient tablets only because humanity will one day build them based on those very blueprints. The paradox challenges our understanding of cause and effect. We expect every effect to have a cause, every invention to have an inventor. The Bootstrap Paradox suggests an effect can be its own cause, a self-contained loop. For Thorne's team, this was no longer theory but reality. The tablets were not just artifacts, they were pieces of a temporal puzzle. If the paradox was true, the knowledge was not a discovery, but an echo from a future that would only exist because of the echo itself. They were not unearthing the past, but receiving a message from their own descendants. The responsibility was immense. The paradox was no longer a thought experiment, it was in their hands, and it changed everything. The paradox ripples through our understanding of creativity. Are our greatest ideas truly invented, or were they always waiting to be found? If knowledge has no origin, is history predetermined? Are we following a fixed route or forging our own path? Perhaps genius lies not in creating ideas, but in recognizing and realizing them. The universe may be filled with bootstrapped ideas, waiting for the right mind to catch them. Even if the path is laid out, the journey must still be taken. The creativity is not in writing the book, but in learning how to read it. And that, Thorne realized, is where true human achievement lies. When we have a great idea, did we invent it or discover it? Are our minds tuning into truths that already exist, like radios catching a signal? Mathematical truths, physical laws, did we create them or uncover them? Perhaps our progress is not invention but revelation. The map of knowledge may already exist, hidden, waiting to be found. We still choose which paths to follow, which knowledge to use. Our morality and wisdom remain our own. Are we authors of our story, or archaeologists unearthing a plot written long ago? The library remains an enigma, a monument to a future that created its own past. The Bootstrap Paradox leaves us with more questions than answers. If information can exist without origin, what else can? Are our greatest creations truly new, or echoes from a timeless loop? The paradox reminds us, the universe may always be full of mysteries. So next time inspiration strikes, ask yourself, are you inventing or remembering the future? The answer may define what it means to be human in this vast, mysterious cosmos.